Let's stand for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Maravich.
There's two opportunities for the public to address the board. First is on agenda items, which is immediately before the agenda. The second is on non-agenda items, which is at the end of the meeting. Pursuant to the school board policy and the Sunshine Law, there's a 3-minute opportunity to provide the board with matters that may or are before it. I understand we only have someone on non-agenda items, correct? Okay.
Thank you. Mrs. Cocker, turn it over to you.
This evening, we are very happy to present, or to welcome the Wilson Theater Company, who will present a few numbers from their upcoming show, Beauty and the Beast.
Hello, my name is Owen Fick, and I play Maurice.
My name is Ashley Filer, and I'll be playing Belle.
And this is No Matter What. No, I'm not Todd nor you, no family ever saner, except one uncle who, well, maybe let that pass. In all you say and do, you couldn't make it plainer. You are your mother's daughter, and therefore you are class.
So I should just accept I'm simply not like them.
They are the common herd, and you can take my word. You are unique. Creme de la creme. No matter what you do, I'm on your side. And if my point of view is somewhat misty-eyed, there's nothing clearer in my life than what I wish and feel for you. And that's a lot, no matter what.
No matter what they say, you make me proud. I love the funny way you stand out from the crowd.
It's my intention, my invention shows the world out there one day just what we've got, no matter what. Now some may say all fathers just exaggerate.
That every daughter's great.
You are.
Every daughter tends to say her father's tops.
She pulls out all the stops to praise him, and quite rightly. No matter what the pain, we've come this far. I hope that you remain exactly as you are. This really is a case of father knowing best.
And daughter too.
You're never strange.
Don't ever change.
You're all I've got, no matter what.
Hi, my name is Josh Freitas, and I'll be playing the Beast. And this song is If I Can't Love Her.
twisted fate. There's not the slightest trace of anything that even hints at kindness, and from my tortured shame, no comfort, no escape. I see, but deep within his utter blindness, hopeless as my dream dies, as the time flies, love a lost illusion, helpless, unforgiven, cold and driven to this sad conclusion. No beauty could move me, no goodness improve me, no power on earth if I can't love her. No passion could reach me, no lesson could teach me how I could have loved her and make her love me too. If I can't love her, then who? Long ago I should have seen all the things I could have been. Careless and unthinking, I moved onward. No pain could be deeper, no life could be cheaper, no point anymore if I can't love her. No spirit could win me, no hope left within me. Hope I could have loved her and that she'd set me free. But it's not to be if I can't love her. Let the world be done with me.
My name is Andrew Santoro, and I'll be playing the role of Gaston. And yeah, they know you. All right. This song is called Me. You've been dreaming just one dream nearly all your life. Hoping, scheming, just one theme. Will you be a wife? Will you be some He-Man's property? Good news, that He-Man's me. This equation, girl plus man, doesn't help just you. On occasion, women can have their uses too, mainly to extend the family tree. Pumpkin, extend with me. We'll be raising sons galore.
Unbelievable.
Each built 6'4".
Inconceivable.
Each one stuffed with every guest on gene.
I'm not hearing
You'll be
this.
keeping house with
Just
pride.
incredible.
Each day gratified
So unwettable.
that you are part of this idyllic scene. Picture this, Belle. A rustic hunting lodge. My latest kill, roasting over the fire. My little wife, oh, that's you, massaging my feet, while the little ones play on the floor with the dogs. Oh, we'll have 6 or 7.
Dogs?
No, Belle, strapping boys like me.
Imagine that.
I can see that we will share all that love implies. We shall be the perfect pair, rather like my thighs. You are face to face with destiny. All roads lead to the best things in life are all's well that ends with me. Escape me, there's no way, certain as do-re, Belle, when you marry. So, Belle, what'll it be? Is it yes, or is it, oh, yes?
Gaston, I just don't deserve you.
Who does? Me!
But thanks for asking.
Hello. I'm Georgia Heinzman, and I'll be playing Mrs. Potts, and I will be singing Beauty and the Beast. Tale as old as time, true as it can be. Barely even friends, then somebody bends unexpectedly. Just a little change, small to say the least. Both a little scared, neither one prepared. Beauty and the Beast. Ever just the same, ever a surprise, ever as before, ever just as sure as the sun will rise. Tale as old as time, tune as old as song, bittersweet and strange, finding you can change, learning you were wrong. Certain as the sun, rising in the east. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Beauty and the Beast. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Beauty and the Beast.
Are we all bowing? That was so bad. Okay. Ms. Lennon is yelling at me to tell you to come see the show. So, March 12th, 13th, and 14th at 7:30, we have shows. Tickets are on sale at wilsontheaterco.org. We also have a matinee Saturday, March 14th at 2 o'clock. And I do have a little presentation real quick. I promise to keep it short. Thank you guys for listening. First of all, this upcoming weekend, we have a promotional event for the musical, Belle's Storybook Breakfast, from 9 to 11 a.m., I believe. So if you're interested, you can come to the Lower House cafeteria, or if your kids are interested. And they'll be able to meet and greet with the characters, have some breakfast. We'll have like a sing-along and some coloring pages, just some fun activities for them to come get to meet the characters in the play. And as I said, the show is not this upcoming weekend, but next weekend. Oh my gosh. That's crazy soon. Get your tickets. They're going fast. And then April 23rd, 24th, and 25th, we are having our student-directed one-act festival, which is where students who are in the senior acting and directing class have been working over the past few months to put together and direct their own shows, and those will be presented on those dates. So, yeah, whatever. We're good? We can move. Okay, cool. Oh, nope, back one. There we go. Good, thank you. When I saw you last, we were just getting ready to do Dracula. So see, these are some pictures from that show. What's really cool about Dracula is we took it to ITS, which is the International Thespian Society State Festival, in early January, where we were able to perform an excerpt of it. And we actually had some people that were so excited there to see it that they drove an hour and a half to come see our actual show at Wilson, which is very exciting. But at that festival, we also, in addition to this, had the opportunity to do some workshops for both acting and tech, and to see a bunch of other main stages and one-acts put on by other theatrical groups around the area. Next slide. Thank you. And these are some pictures from our current rehearsal process. I'm extremely excited, as you can tell. We have been doing some promotional events. For example, at Minithon this past weekend, we had an Escape the West Wing escape room set up in the dance room. It seemed to be a hit. We had a pretty decent line. But yeah, it's been a blast so far. We have some amazing choreographers and directors that we've been working with. Thank you so much, Ms. Lennon. You're wonderful. But yeah, highly encourage and invite you guys to come see that. And then finally, I just wanted to touch on just how much Wilson Theater Company does prioritize student involvement. So on the left, we have two pictures of our one-act groups. Students, like seniors, really get the opportunity to take some steps independently and take things into their own hands, getting to direct their own show, choose their cast, choose their sets. They're really involved in everything. In the middle is my good friend Elena Caputo, who won the Cloak, which is kind of like an honor for us in WTC, for her lighting design, because that was entirely under her control. And she did a wonderful job designing that entire set. And Victoria, I think she's still here. She's designing the lighting for Beauty and the Beast. So that's entirely student done. And then they're kind of faint, but on the left or on the right there, we have some sketches of the costumes that are being made for Beauty and the Beast. You have my dress and Babette, the feather duster, her costume. And these are made for the most part by our costumes class, which runs 8th period. And our wonderful Ava Breslin is responsible for a lot of these sketches and really just putting everything together. So we try and keep as much of this as possible within the theater company and the students, and make sure that there is a chance for them to experience all aspects of the theater world. So thank you so much for your continued support and for listening to our performance here, and I really hope to see you all at the show. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry. Yes.
You have to stay the full 2 hours, or is it like after cheer camp from 9 to 10 you can come over?
Oh, you can come over. Yeah, come on over. You don't have to be there the whole 2 hours. It's all good. Perfect. All right. Thank you again.
Well, thank you for sharing your talents tonight. It was a great way to start a meeting, and we know you may have things to do, so please, if you need to leave, we understand. You're welcome.
Well, Ashley, Mr. Hart, Ashley will not be able to get out of the show very quickly. You know, knowing how little girls were at Frozen at the middle school, you should be prepared for many, many photos to be taken afterwards. So just be forewarned on that. So.
I've already received some phone calls from kids who are being babysat by some friends, so it's already started. but
And
I
they'll-
appreciate the
They'll
heads
all
up.
be there in their bell costumes as well, so
Thank
wonderful.
you so much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Break a leg.
Thank you.
Just an announcement that we met in executive session earlier this evening to discuss a personnel issue. 2.1, request approval of the minutes of the school board meeting held on February 18th, 2020. Looking for a motion? Mrs. Cocker? Second? Mr. Case? Was that your hand? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Payment of bills, Mr. Martin.
Yes, Mr. President, I submit for a payment tonight, bills in the amount of $1,113,202.80.
Is there a second? Mr. McCray? Any discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mrs. Casper?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. McCray?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
9 for, 0 against.
Okay, superintendent's report. Dr. Fadley.
Thank you, President Hart. It's my privilege this evening to present the superintendent's report, inclusive of personnel and program recommendations.
Thank you. Looking for a motion to approve superintendent items 4.1 through 4.8.
Motion, Schneider.
Mr. Schneider first, second. Mrs. Casper second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Casper?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
No.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. McCray?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
8 for, 1 against.
5.1, requesting approval of the following regular season overnight athletic trip. High school boys volleyball team traveling to State College on April 24th and 25th, 2020. Cost of the school district is 2 vans for the trip and no days out of school for the students. 5.2, requesting approval of the following field trip, a ski trip to Vermont for 12 high school students from March 6th through March 8th, 2020. Cost to the district is 1 substitute and 1 day, 1 substitute for 1 day, and cost to the students is $550. The students will be out of school for 1 day. And also 5.3, requesting approval of the following field trip to New York City for 45 music students to see a Broadway musical on May 20th, 2020. Cost to the district is 3 substitutes, and cost to the students is approximately $215. Looking for a motion? Mrs. Cocker first, second. Dr. Kennedy, any discussion? Roll call, please. I'm sorry, that's a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Say donation, John. Sorry, didn't come up over there. You had one there? Okay. Sorry, trying to get in my screen here. There isn't one, is there? There we go. Okay. Okay, 6.1, accept a donation from Volunteer Baseball, Evolution Baseball LLC, a check for $100 to be used at the high school art show. From Raymond Zale, a series of classic books from 1930s from Black's Reader Service Company to be used in the high school library. And from Gary Collar, a check for $1,000 to be applied equally to 5 elementary schools to be used at the discretion of the 5 individual librarians for the educational benefit of their students. Looking for a motion to approve? Mrs. Cocker first. Dr. Kennedy second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Say aye. Opposed? Thank you. 7.1, Human Resources. Request approval to authorize the appointment of Sarah Ginn to Food Service Director, $85,000 a year, effective date to be determined. And this fills a vacancy that's been open for a couple years. And looking for a motion? Mr. McCray and Mr. Case second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Kennedy? Yes. Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. McCray?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mrs. Casper?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
9 for, 0 against.
Under Student Services, 8.1, request approval of a resolution approving and adopting a student discipline waiver and consent agreement dated January 28th, 2020. 8.2, Request approval of a resolution approving and adopting a student discipline waiver and consent agreement dated January 24th, 2020. Do I have a motion? Mr. Schneider first. Is there a second? Mrs. Cocker, second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cocker? Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. McCray?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mrs. Casper?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
9-4, 0 against.
Under Finance, 9.1, request approval of the local tax hearing officer agreement as attached. 9.2, request approval to inactivate, listed service club accounts as mentioned in the policy for 618 student activity funds, transferring any remaining balance to the student government fund. Do I have a motion for 9.1, 9.2? Mrs. Cocker first, second. Mrs. Casper, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. McCray?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mrs. Casper?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
9-4, 0 against.
Under extracurricular, 10.1, approval for a contract with St. Luke's to provide substitute athletic trainer service at a cost of $35 an hour, not to exceed $4,200, to begin March 9, 2020, pending solicitor review and approval. Is there a motion? Mr. Case first. Is there a second? Mr. McCray, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. McCray?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mrs. Casper?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
9-4, 0 against.
Nothing under miscellaneous. Committee reports. Berks Career and Technology Center, Mrs. Casper.
Yes, so we met on Wednesday, the 26th of February at the West Campus. And as usual, we had an amazing dinner prepared by the students studying in the Culinary Arts program, one of which from Wilson, Lizzie Monroe, is also competing in the Iron Chef competition. We also took a short tour of their IT programming, one of their IT programming classes, and we had the opportunity to meet a couple of the students there, and they shared their amazing portfolios, and were able to show us some of the technology that they have access to at the facility, which is really amazing how the students were able to describe in detail everything that they've been doing, and the internships that they have the opportunity to participate in are like real life jobs, and the students just are amazing in terms of how they describe what they're able to do with local companies. So we were able to tour a couple of the other classrooms in there, and one of our very own former board member, Matt Wolf, is actually working with a group of the students there to provide some of his knowledge and service, working with some students that are exploring the real estate market as part of their project for business management and entrepreneurship program. So I thought that was really interesting. As far as some students receiving honors, please be sure you congratulate the following Wilson High School students who received honors in the last academic quarter. At the East Campus, Nathan Kreveling for preparation for adult living, Ariel Gonzalez for sports medicine and rehabilitative therapy. At the West Campus, Dominic Hartman for auto collision, Grace Moyer for business management and entrepreneurship, Alyssa Marasco for communication, media, and technology, Bailey Nicholas for photo imaging technology, and Gavin Jacobs for precision machining technology. And then I shared with Karen today to post on social media, 2 of our Wilson students took away the the second national prize for the NOCTI Awards, which is stands for National Occupation Competency Testing Institute. And their award is called Finding My Spark. The two students are Alyssa Marasco and Hannah Stambaugh, both of them for communication, media, and technology. Thank you. So let's watch. It's only like a 2-minute video, so we can watch it. It's awesome.
Life is about preparation and working towards goals, whether it be in sports or career. Preparation is the key to success. Every day I push myself to my limits so I can grow. Victory is about more than just the cheer of the crowd. It's about the effort to get there. It's about the last push that drives you home. It's about showing those who say, I can't, that I can. Because succeeding is more than just not losing. It's about earning your victory. This is my victory. Now what's yours?
Yeah, so that was the second place in the national competition, so that's really amazing for our students. Just in some other announcements, the STEAM camp, again, June 15th through the 19th at the East Campus, so if students are interested, they can be dropped off and picked up at the West Campus, and it's offered to students who are going into 7th and 8th grade. And it does offer the full day.
Life is about preparation.
Yeah, let's watch it. The STEAM camp does provide a full day camp with lunch, and many of the students, as an incentive, many of the students do end up enrolling in BCTC. We did finally schedule our dinner for Tuesday, April the 21st with BCTC for the board. And our next meeting is March 25th at the East Campus.
Thank you.
And that's my report.
Berks County IU and Curriculum, Dr. Kennedy.
I have updates for both BCIU and the Curriculum Committee this week, as busy last 2 weeks. At the BCIU, I'd like to promote their Keeping Kids Safe symposium on April 15th. All day, 7:30 to 3:30. If anybody's interested in what the agenda is for the day, I have it here. It's a really great workshop. The keynote speaker is a national speaker, and she's going to talk about human trafficking and the threat to our children. So it's very timely. The BCIU is rolling out a brand new website, and we got a preview last time, and it looks much easier to navigate, and it's really upgraded. Also, BCIU is having their 50th anniversary get-together April 23rd at 5:30 at Alvernia with all of the board members from throughout the county. BCIU is updating their fingerprinting as well. They used to do everybody that walked out on the street, and now they're just doing BCIU employees, and they're going to take requests from school districts. So it's not that you're not going to be able to just walk in there like you used to be able to. It got too expensive for that. The other thing I got from the BCIU is another rollout of the state mandates. This is hot off the presses, and they also have a digital version. So if you'd like to know all the state mandates, I can give you a link for that. They're working now on next step is funded versus unfunded. As far as curriculum committee, we had another fun curriculum committee meeting. We talked about how incredibly successful Building Bulldogs has been. We talked about, and I know we talked about it here before, the Brailing competition, first annual, and our students did really well in that. We talked about how 4 of our teachers were able to go to the Reading Recovery National Conference, which is exciting and really great for our youngest learners. What else did we talk about? We talked about how elementary curriculum, the social studies curriculum is almost done, which is exciting. And we also got our first run through of the summer booklet for our summer acceleration, our summer remediation classes. So just a little tidbit of what we did over the curriculum committee. Do you have anything you want to add?
No.
Thank you. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Burke CIT, Mrs. Schlossman. Extracurricular, Mrs. Cocker.
Yes. So today was the first day of the spring sports season. I don't know if anybody saw, I saw baseball practicing. We had to, actually it's kind of tricky because the Whitfield kids after pickup always run down and play on the field. So there was a little bit of a fight over the field between the high school baseball players and all of the 2nd and 3rd graders. So that was it's quite dangerous now. They'll figure it out. So this is the first day, I think, in a long time that they've been able to actually get outside on the first day of the season. So it was beautiful, and they took full advantage of that. But before we get into the spring season, we still have some teams that we need to acknowledge from winter. Our boys basketball team, District 3 champions. Woo-hoo. Our girls bowling team qualified for the state championship tournament. The boys swimming team, also District 3 champs. Our gold medal swimmers were Cameron Reeder for the 200 individual medley, Erin Moyer for the 100 breaststroke, Shelby Khan for the 200 freestyle and the 500 freestyle. The boys 200 freestyle relay were David Meinhold, Malachi Eberly, Josh Cunningham, Brody Heckman. The boys 400 freestyle relay, David Meinhold, Malachi Eberly, Gabe Kobaugh, and Brody Heckman. And the girls 200 freestyle relay, Riley Wenzel, Emily Cherry, Carolyn Pitorik, and Shelby Khan. And then our next meeting will be next Monday, March 9th at noon with it's going to be a joint meeting with facilities. And we're going to discuss mainly the feasibility when it comes to the fields. And that's
Thank
all.
you.
Yep.
Facilities, Mr. Negrini.
If I may, Mr. Hart, before we move on to facilities, just to follow up on the extracurricular report. Following a very exciting weekend of swimming, we had learned that our girls 4x100 free relay team was disqualified for an allegation of an early takeoff by one of the athletes. The PIAA implements technology called a relay judging pad that's used to confirm any infraction observed by an official to be accurate. If only one official observes the early takeoff, the technology is utilized to determine whether or not the infraction is accurate or not. So in this particular instance, had one official indicated that our athlete had left early, the technology would have confirmed that that was inaccurate and the disqualification would have been thrown out. However, because 2 officials had indicated that the athlete had taken off early, by rule, the technology was deemed to have been malfunctioning at the time, and the disqualification stood. There is also video evidence that clearly establishes that the technology utilized on this particular date was accurate and that human error had occurred. And this video is currently circulating on social media, and I invite the PIAA to take a look at that video to confirm that the technology was accurate. Although the roles of governance in sports organizations like the PIAA involve rules and policies, the central component of any well-respected governing body is decision-making. Good sports governance should strive to act in the best interests of their members. And unlike sports organizations like the NFL, the IOC, or even the NCAA, the PIAA serves the interests of children. Back in 2018, our district made the very difficult but courageous and acting with tremendous integrity to acknowledge that our boys soccer team had an ineligible player, and we sought to rectify the mistake made. And as a result, the boys soccer state championship was vacated. In a letter written by the time the executive director, Dr. Robert Lombardi, he was complimentary of the district for having the courage and the integrity to come forward and to bring to light a mistake that had been made. It is high time for the PIAA to recognize that a mistake has been made and for them to make the courageous and accurate decision to overturn this injustice for these 4 young ladies who have earned the right to participate in the state championship. By the way, that 4x100 free relay is currently the second fastest team in the state and should have the ability to compete for something that they have earned rather than have it taken away by 2 individuals that have clearly made a mistake. And that's my comment as it pertains to extracurricular. Regarding facilities, as indicated, spring sports has started. Fields have been prepared for tryouts and practice. The shot put area was extended for the possibility of an athlete, I'm assuming specifically that Fleetwood young man who clearly throws in excess of 60 feet with a shot put. The study of the natatorium is underway to assure that repairs can be completed this summer, and turf repairs are taking place this week on the fields so that the spring season can go on without a hitch. That is my report. As indicated, our joint facilities and extracurricular meeting is next Monday.
Martin.
Yes, we met today at 4:30, and on the agenda was the feasibility study financing discussion. The discussion was centered around the potential and the cost of a new elementary school. So RBC was asked to figure out how a way to extend the debt out and provide some relief from the cost to go into operation. So they showed us a couple ways of doing that. Of course, this is all dependent upon whenever we find out what the total cost is going to be, but there is a way to stretch out for additional 5 years the debt service and provide some additional operating cash to fund potential teachers and for a new particular building. We talked about the general fund a little bit, nothing earth-shattering there. It's too early to really discuss anything in importance, but it was a rehash of the loss of our assessments due to some appeals. Excuse me. And some other items we talked about, Reading Area Community College, we had an agreement where they would rent some rooms for us, and that agreement is coming to an end at the end of this year with the loss of some funds there that we were anticipating next year. Talked about a procurement card for high school student activities. That will be looked at in a future date. And also some RFPs are going to go out for beverage services. It's my understanding that agreement has expired, as well as take a look at some of the student photo opportunities to see if there's additional revenue that can be generated here. And there was no executive session.
Mr. Hart, if I may just expand upon Mr. Martin's words as far as lost revenue, as far as tax assessment appeals. There are still currently 5 outstanding in the chance that we lose those appeals, and there's further loss of revenue as a result of those appeals. It appears as if from last year to the next current year will be a loss in excess of $1 million in revenue, and that is a significant amount of money when you talk about our budget and our needs. So I just wanted to point out those real dollars that we're talking about having lost.
Thank you. Human Resources, no report. Legislative, Mr. Martin.
Not much going on. The legislators, both houses, come back on March 16th. There's committees going on in session now discussing the governor's budget. One of the key items is how to raise some additional revenues, and are looking at imposing additional taxes on the fracking or the methane gas being extracted from the state.
Mr. Martin, do we know when the state Supreme Court is expected to hand down the equity funding decision?
I do not. I don't know if John.
There's no deadline from the Supreme Court.
Okay. I did not hear.
I know they don't, I just didn't know if they had said any.
No, I mean.
Well, I can call a couple people.
I mean, typically they don't let you know when they're going to decide it, so.
Right.
All right. Public Relations, Mrs. Troutman.
Hello, everyone. I wanted to share two really amazing things that happened since the last meeting with our students. First, we want to offer congratulations to the winners of the Berks County Regional Round of the Governor's STEM Competition. Sanchita Busari, Cole Shmileski, Luke Klein, McCord Peterson, and Colby Snyder took first place at the competition with their Ecosystem, which is a system of bike attachments and an app that encourages bike riding over driving by capturing a person's tire rotation and calculating the amount of carbon emissions saved. This team will now improve its product and take it to the state competition in Harrisburg in May, and we just want to really wish all of them the best of luck as they move on in this competition. We are also thrilled that Wilson senior Mika Kazuka just received her invitation to represent the United States of America in the 2020 International Ski Federation Snowboarding Junior World Championships in Austria. This will be her second year representing the U.S. at the FIS Junior Worlds. She's currently ranked 7th in America out of all ages. So we want to wish her the best of luck as she competes in both parallel giant slalom and parallel slalom, which is pretty amazing. Just a couple of items under PR. We are going to be hosting a parent night regarding our Eureka Math program, actually tomorrow, from 6 to 7 p.m. in the boardroom, right here. The event is the follow-up to our building level parents' nights held in the fall. We'll be addressing frequently asked questions and providing some models of the work students are doing in math. So we have promoted this through district communications. And then we also wanted to mention that this past week we launched a new Thought Exchange. And just as a reminder, Thought Exchange is an online tool that's used to gain insight into the thoughts and ideas of our stakeholders by providing a platform for people to share their ideas via open-ended questions. So this particular question that we asked in the Thought Exchange is, after reviewing the feasibility study that addresses the district's plan for future growth, what is the top priority we should be considering? So to date, we've had over 600 participants who shared over 410 thoughts with us. In addition, we've had over 19,400 ratings assigned to the thoughts. So what we're going to be doing with these ratings is we'll be able to understand the overarching themes that our community has shared with us regarding that question. Just as a reminder, the participation in the Thought Exchange is open till Thursday, so there's still a few more days. So if you haven't yet participated, you can find the link and all the instructions on the homepage of the district website. So we will be providing a summary of these results, obviously to you as board members, as well as to the community. So again, if you haven't participated, we encourage you to do that. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Education Foundation, Mr. Case.
I am happy to say that I have the evening off because our executive director, Molly Mack, is here from the Wilson Ed Foundation, and along with Darcy Willingmeyer.
Welcome.
Thank you.
The great things that are happening soon at the WEF.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. As mentioned, my name's Molly Mack, and I'm the executive director of the foundation here at Wilson. I'd also like to introduce Darcy Willingmeyer, who is our administrative coordinator. She keeps our foundation running very efficiently. I could not do it without her. First, we'd like to thank the Wilson School Board, our administration, and all the faculty and staff here at Wilson for supporting us all year long in all our events, especially Ed Case. He is our liaison. He also sits on our foundation board, and we really appreciate you letting us report tonight. So thanks for having us. We're really excited to be here promoting our 7th annual Wilson Iron Chef competition and benefit auction in just 3 short weeks. Hopefully we'll be sleeping well at night, but we're getting really excited for it. It will be Sunday, March 22nd. In the past, we've had the event from 1 to 5. This year, we're shortening the hours. It will be 1 to 4, and the entire event is going to take place in our Wilson High School gym. So that's a little bit of a change. Normally, the Iron Chef portion of the day will be in the auditorium, but we're moving everything back in the gym this year to be together throughout the day. For those of you who haven't attended our event again, we do have a short video that we'd like to share with you. It's just 2 minutes to show you some highlights from last year. Little scary bulldog at the end. A little side note about that video, it was actually produced by Dan Willingmeyer, who is Darcy's son. He is not only a Wilson graduate, but he also attended BCTC when he was here, and now you can see he's putting that to work in his real life, which is great. Next, I think we have a blue flyer. There you go. And we are so excited to announce a little bit of a change this year. In the past, the Iron Chef portion of the day has been 3 individual experienced chefs from our area. We decided to throw a little twist in the event this year, and we are actually partnering with the career and technology centers in our area, and perfectly, there were 3 of them. So we're gonna have 3 teams this year. Team E will be BCTC East. Chef Carla from a restaurant called Bum's Rush. She was with a restaurant called Still Playing last year, and she was our runner-up at People's Choice. She's going to be mentoring Robin Mossholder and Lily Purcell from Boyertown High School. Our Team W from BCTC West will be Chef Tim from Redner's Markets. He's a veteran of Iron Chef. He's participated almost every year. And he's going to be with our very own Wilson High School students, Lizzie Monroe and Justin Snyder. And then our third team is Team R from Reading Muhlenberg CTC, and that will be Chef Mike from Adelphia Seafood. He was the People's Choice winner last year, as well as our Iron Chef champion. So these kiddos got really lucky from Reading High School. They have Griselda Nito and Alex Estachio. I do want to mention that I got to meet with all these students last night with the chef mentors. We had a meeting at Chef Tim's table at Redner's Markets, and they're really, really nervous, but they're excited. Our Wilson kiddos are the most outgoing and confident of the group. I don't know because they feel comfortable at the school or not, but we're going to really guide these kids over the next 3 weeks. They're going to meet and keep in touch with their chef mentors and make this a really great experience for them. They all came very highly recommended from their culinary instructors at their individual campuses, so we are really excited to have them. I just want to mention that one of the important ways that we generate funds for the foundation is through our events and fundraisers. We also count on the support from our sponsors and the entire community. So with all of your help, we're able to partner with the school district to provide the most innovative opportunities and experiences here at Wilson. So we could not do it without all of you. So hopefully we will see everybody on March 22nd. I think we have some ticket information to put up as well. We're going to be here tonight at the end of the meeting. I look around the room, a lot of you already have tickets, which I greatly appreciate you purchasing those. If you'd like to purchase tickets tonight, we have general admission tickets available for $15. First taste tickets are available to everybody. Those are $25. That will get you in an hour before the event actually starts. And then our student tickets are discounted at $10. The prices will go up at the door. You have our website up to go there to order tickets as well and get any other information. And then they're available in person at the admin building Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 to 2. And we will be in attendance with tickets at the next board meeting as well. So, and reach out at any time to the foundation with questions about Iron Chef or any of our other events or just the foundation in general. We're always looking for sponsors and volunteers and ways to get active. So thank you very much for having us.
Awesome. Thank you.
Can I just add that?
Sure.
This year, I'm the CTC Reading Muhlenberg, so that board and Jerry Whitmer, the executive director, are very thankful that you guys would include them in this.
We heard there's buzz of a lot of other schools wanting to start this event now. So we don't know how we feel about that yet, but we're really excited. Yeah, the kids are really, really excited. So thanks.
Thank you. Technology, Mr. Schneider.
I have nothing to report. Our next meeting is April the 6th at 4:30.
Great, thank you. Student outreach.
Hello. This past weekend has been very eventful for Wilson. First off, our bowling team won 5th at regionals and are going to states. We also claimed the first district championship for the Wilson boys basketball team. And the boys swim team also secured another district title for Wilson on Saturday, which will be the 20th district championship for the boys. The girls swim team put up a great fight, but ended up second. But they had 5 district champions: Shelby Kahn in the 200 and 500 free, Erin Moyer in the 100 breast, and our 200 medley relay and our 200 free relay, which is now seated first at states. And thank you, Mr. Negrini, for bringing up that point about the 400 free relay, because that has been all that I've been hearing about since Saturday night. So hopefully that gets overturned. But in addition to our great athletics, our jazz band also earned a superior score at Governor Mifflin's Jazz Fest last Friday. We also had a lot of success with our Minithon on Saturday. For those of you who don't know, Minithon is a 12-hour dance marathon that raises money for the Four Diamonds Fund, which helps families who have children battling cancer. This year, we raised over $91,000 through all our fundraisers and donations. In the next month, the student government will be helping raise money for the Multiple Disabilities Room, and just as we saw the Wilson Theater Company performing, they have their Beauty and the Beast next week, and I know it's going to be phenomenal. They've been prepping for it for a long time. So that's my report.
Thank you. Solicitor, Mr. Maravich.
No specific report
Very
on
good.
public participation. It's a 3-minute opportunity for anyone to address the board on non-agenda items. It's not question and answer, but it's opportunity to address the board on matters that may come before it. And my sole job is keeping the clock. And Steph, can you give us the name?
Oh, man, it's even spelled out. Hang on. Janakovo. Is that close? Janakovo, close?
You got it. Yes. Mathematics helped you, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Right here, I guess?
Yep. Oh, sorry. I should have said that.
All right, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, my name is Jeff Janakovo. So I come here as a parent, 2 parents and 2 kids in the school district. My oldest son struggles mightily with school. That's a function of his habits. It's a function of our needing to constantly parent. It's a function of a number of things. 9th grade was very difficult for him. A lot of strife, a lot of tears, a lot of problems. I was very hopeful. I'm just kind of in awe at the amount of BCTC involvement in the school district, the success stories that I've seen here. He's involved in the carpentry program there. I was very happy to get my son back at the beginning of 10th grade year because I really felt it was needed. However, what I put forth to our board here, our school district, is a challenge to change the curriculum paths and add a 4th. We have a advanced placement path. We have a college prep path, which he is on. We have a special education path. We did go through the process to have our son tested. He did not qualify for special education. I think if our board looks at the population of the students, and if we follow simply the 80-20 rule, we likely have 80% of them in the college prep path. The other 20%, if we take the next step down of the 80-20 rule, if you study the principle, I would venture a guess you have about 16% of our student population, 80% of the remaining 20 in advanced placement, and you have probably 4% in special education. I say that studying that rule, applying it to many facets of my life, business and otherwise, and I would venture a guess I'm pretty darn close. So why is it that we are putting 80% of the population in that college prep path and not respecting children like my child and others? Dominic Hartman's name was referenced today. He is a personal friend of my son. It was awesome to hear his name referenced for auto body and that work. So I'm really putting forth to our board, whoever needs to hear it, whatever the next step is from here, we really need to explore this college prep path. Growing up, I understand Dr. Trickett, we went to school, he was a year behind me. One of the teachers, Mr. Geezy, berated a personal friend of mine in middle school for his family's career, what they did, they had produce stands, berated him constantly. The humiliation that's given out in our society for kids who want to go into trades, people who want to go into trades, is sickening. And I come here to the board knowing full well none of this will matter for my son. None of it. We won't change it in 2 years' time, by the time he graduates. It won't happen. But I come here for kids that'll follow, and I come here for kids that sit in class and they hear all day, college is the only way to succeed in life. It's not. We all know that. It's great for those that get it. It's great for those that want it. But we need, as an education system, as a society, to allow these kids to know that they're part of this world, that they're needed, that their skills, their passions, their birthright by family, as in my friend Jason in middle school, if that's what he wanted to do, and it turns out he did, if he wants to operate produce stands and do very well for himself, he'll be just fine. But we need to foster that within our education system, and forcing these kids who aren't advanced and who aren't in special education, forcing these kids as a square peg in a round hole, I just don't feel is the right thing for our children. It's not right for our society. And I'm here to tell you, this is something I'm taking up. We've had to watch our child. We've had to go through some pretty severe mental health issues on up to outright suicide threat, which we are working through that and have been for about the last 9 months. It's all because of the overwhelm at school. For him to succeed, he has to commit 4 to 5, 6 hours of extra tutoring on top of what he already does. I'm not sure that's right. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's what we're here for. So I hope that you all can hear me. I hope that the board can take it under advisement, and maybe there can be some future guidance as to what the next steps could be. I'd be very interested to be a part of that conversation, bring forth ideas, and help any way I can. That's what I have.
Thank you.
Hopefully I got the 3 minutes in.
Any other business? Mr. Martin?
Yes, tonight we hired a new food service director, and the only thing I want to add is when I was in school, of course, we still had ice boxes back then, but I looked forward to lunch, so I hope she can bring that back.
Thank you. Anyone else? Looking for a motion to adjourn? Mr. Schneider?